What's up, Reefers? Welcome to Alex Pour Corals. This is Alex Wilson, and this is my video log where you can learn from my mistakes, so come check it out. Alright guys, so here we go. This is a shot of my main display today. That's right, this is continuing with the Dino flagellate brown slime toxic nightmare. And what have I done here? But I have added, well, I took out the sand in my coral quarantine system down here, so that's why I did this yesterday. But it was still had like a bunch of detritus or leftover silt from the new crushed coral that I added down here. So that's why I stirred it up, and that's why everything is a little cloudy again. So it'll might take another 12 hours or so for it to start to clean up. But right here, this is where I have my protein skimmer right here, and there was a whole bunch, about an inch or inch and a half of, maybe even 2 inches of sand. I'm not sure. I had a bunch of sand right there anyway. I took it out and I replaced it with just a layer right there. That's about a half-inch layer of crushed coral. And so the idea behind this is just to, a lot of people like it. There's something not to have anything in there, that way they can easily siphon up and clean out the detritus that's there. But I think that it's a good idea to have a little bit of detritus, and I don't think it's very detrimental. To have a limited amount. So that's why I removed the sand too. Because not because of the dinoflagellate current algae problem, but just because of any in the long term, just kind of long term detritus build up, and that getting disturbed and causing problems in the future. So I went ahead and removed the sand from down here, and see on this side right here on my coral scrubber area right here, this is where I put in, it's probably about an inch of sand, but it's just enough that I can put in frag plugs. So definitely much more aesthetically pleasing than having frag racks, and having to clean and remove and put the frag racks back and clean under them, everything. So this should be just a nice practical way to manage the detritus that is here. It looks good. I can put the frag plugs here and there everywhere. I can put corals in here. Number two, it is also a place for the copepods and your microfauna, because it's obviously a refugium. So this is where they can hang out here, populate, and then spread to the other areas, whether to the main display. And so it's also a nice scape too. I got my rocks, I got my corals down here, coral scrubber, separate from the main system. Of course, it's running the opposite lighting schedule. And right, yellow tang, see, the yellow tang I was gonna I'm waiting for them to get a little bigger, and then I'm gonna sell them. But I almost decided to sell them because when I had them out, because I have to catch them. But anyway, I put them back in here for now, just temporarily. I'll probably sell them coming up here, and when things cool off a little bit in the fall, probably just put them on eBay or something and send them off, because I only need the one. But anyway, coral scrubber right here, got that down here. That is the substrate right there, and I stirred it up just a little bit there and a little bit over here, because that's where it was. That's why I got the cloudy water today. And it goes into the back right there, and so this is like my detritus management. Like in the back, there's another section over there where the float is at. And so over there, so I also have the same thing, probably like about half-inch of crushed coral there as well. Just detritus management. It's kind of like a good comparison. It's kind of like if you have hard floors or carpet. So I got hard floors right here, and the reason that I do is because that it is so clean that easy to sweep and mop straight up. So it's a similar concept, as opposed to carpet, where you have to even if you vacuum and vacuum, you have lots of buildup of dirt. So it is similar to the aquariums, where you. So that's just the option that I went, for this sump that, you know, I thought they're just for me, you know, aesthetically and for my management style here. I just, you know, a lot of people can go just bare bottom, easy to clean up, same concept as hard floors, but this is kind of like the same concept as carpet. And so, you know, for me in the house, definitely prefer hard floors, you know, the carpet stain and you know, for allergies. But I just think that it's okay to have a little bit of you know, that you can manage right here. So easy to pull out, easy to clean though, you know, depending on what I want to do, if I want to clean it or if I want to pull it out, easy to do. So definitely wasn't the funnest thing pulling out this sand, but there it is, guys. I got it done. And so let's check out the main aquarium system up here. And by the way, yeah, I'm going the lights. This is at 20% intensity, and I got the running all the blues. You know, I just turn on the light. This is 10,000K, by the way, on the Radions right there. Nice setting on the Mobius app. Gotta love it. Also, you know, it can be frustrating, any of these apps, you know, with the phones that, you know, I mean, it's great when they're working, you know, and it can be frustrating to get used to using them, you know, and learning them. And then on the other hand, I find it frustrating that, you know, suddenly they stop working, whether it be because it has a problem updating or just has a problem communicating, whether it's the internet connection, whether it's their servers, you know, whether it is the actual, you know, my phone itself is updated or something, you know, or the app on the phone, or it's simply the Wi-Fi connection from the phone to the you know, to the wireless setup on to connect to the actual lamps themselves. So definitely frustrating when it has problems connecting. I've had problems, you know, with the Mobius in the past, as well as with the Kessel, you know, the Kessel system right here. And they have these crazy dongles. I hate these dongles, by the way, on the Kessels. It's like this plug-in thing right here. It looks absolutely retarded up here on top. So looking for an update on the Kessels where it could be built in on inside the lamp, like anything that makes sense. I mean, it looks just like an add-on, absolutely ridiculous in my opinion. And you know, and they've had it for a long time, so it's so crazy that they would still, you know, have this like add-on dongle thing on all of their lighting. So it's pretty lame. But what my point is that, you know, I had been using the app for the longest time where it was fine and everything, and you know, and there were a few times where I wanted to update or where I had my problems, you know, where I had to like uninstall the app on my phone, reinstall it, and then remove the dongles, put them back on, press the button on them for 3 seconds for them to reset and all this. So I did all that before, you know, but this time around I had the same thing, but I just couldn't get it, you know. I just wanted, it was weird is that, yeah, you know, I'd program what I want to program on my phone. That's one thing. But then the lights wouldn't respond. They're still doing the old thing. So they weren't updating. It's a communication problem. Frustrating. You know, and I've had the same problem, similar problems with the Ecotech Radions as well. But at the end of the day, those did update, you know, and work eventually for me. But, you know, they still can be frustrating because every once in a while they seem to have communication problems, and they seem to kind of like have a mind of their own sometimes. You know, even using the manual buttons up here, that's one thing too. It'd be good to get some really good knobs up here instead of these buttons on the Kessels. So so for now, I got so frustrated though with these Kessels that I decided I just remove these dongles on them. They're driving me nuts. You know, sometimes it's just a lot easier to run lights on a timer. And, you know, it makes things, just your life a lot simpler just to run a timer, especially if you have a whole bunch of these crazy dongles and, you know, and wireless lights to manage. You know, one thing I have, what, 2 Kessels right here and, you know, 2 XR30s and 2 XR15s. So I imagine if you have 30, 300 or 3,000 lights to manage, you know, seems like it's just easier to use a timer. Maybe. So, alright, so I put them on a timer, you know, when they're running I'm running the Kessels 2 hours. Well, I'm running just the Radions for the 8 hours of the, well, whitish light, right? And then 2 hours just with the blue, and then 2 hours with the radiance, just with the blue on the radiance, just to appreciate the glitter, well, glitter, the just enjoy the light that they give out, with the glitter lines down here, shimmer lines on the rocks. I forgot the actual word that we're using, shimmer. Okay, so here we go. Let's check it out. I just hit the glass. I just stirred the sand, so not a fair comparison. However, you can see on the gravel here, I don't see any of the brown slime dinoflagellate toxic nightmare yet. However, check back. I'll check back tomorrow, the next video, and see if it comes back. Hopefully it's gone for good. So good so far right here, but of course you can see on the rocks over here, full messy, I guess the dead dinoflagellates or dead bacteria or detritus, I'm not sure, but anyway, the coral's definitely looking like they're recovering from this crazy toxic dinoflagellate nightmare. Dino nightmare, guys. So here's a shot of the yellow thing. Right, yellow thing, really, he's back, dude. Yellow thing's over here. By the way, what happened with this nori? You gotta get the food just right. Let's check it out. He would pull the food out of the nori box in the last video, if you remember. Let's check it out over here. So what I got over here, these are, if you're familiar with freshwater, you will know that these little freshwater feeders right here, these are actually called worm feeders. So if you check them on Amazon, I couldn't find them at first, found them for, the actual name on them is worm feeders. And so you're generally using freshwater to feed the bloodworms and the different types of worms that they use in freshwater. And this one I modified it a little bit to get the openings a little bit bigger, but I went ahead and ordered some more of them so I can, I thought that they were too big on this one, but to play around with that. And I also got another feeder as well to see what that one is like, out of acrylic, and it's kind of a V shape. And one of the things that I've done to make this work, if you notice, is that I have it tied up here. I just use just a straight normal magnet right here to hold it up, and I'm tying it with a piece of dental floss. That's right, folks, you heard it right. Alex Poro Corals here. I said dental floss, that's right, I'm using dental floss up here to hold this worm feeder in position up here, because I absolutely hate these suction cups. Never had any luck with any type of suction cups in any type of aquarium application, lasting longer than a month. After a month or so, the whole suction cup just is completely, they don't work for me. So I've never, I've had, after a month of using them, they didn't work. Maybe 30 years ago or 40 years ago, I never went back to using suction cups in any instance in my aquariums. So therefore, I just tied it up here using dental floss. And dental floss is easy to use, readily available, and I can just cut it off to the length I want and tie it on there and use it as needed. Okay, the point is that I was putting in the nori, so it all comes down to the size of the nori in here. So if I put it in just the pieces that are too small, then they'll just blow straight out with the current. And then if I put them in too big, like I had done in the previous video, then the yellow tank, he just comes up here and gets pulls the whole piece out, and then if he's already full, he'll come out here, pull the whole piece out, and then not eat it and just throw it down into the rocks and down into the filter, because it's too big of a piece for him to actually chew down, so he doesn't know what to do with it and what to do. So it just falls. It's just like putting a big piece of nori straight into the water column right here, just go straight down into the rocks. So and then so if you get the size just right, then right here, just little pieces. So I just ripped them up into little, like 1/4 or like 1/4 inch or so little square pieces, dropped them in there, and then he comes up here and then grabs them and then pulls just a little bit out and eats them. and that's the trick to getting them, you know, to just be able to eat. Typical herbivore, to be able to eat little by little, and you know, at their pleasure all day long. Of course, I just got the one other thing to worry about. You've got a whole bunch of things, you know, it's just like it's like you can't have any food anywhere, and they're just gonna completely go berserk over a fish bowl or something like this. But in this case, it works to be able to just throw stuff in here early, once in the day, you know, and then that'll last them all day, or even 2 days actually. You know, if they're not hungry, it can sit in there, I've noticed, up to 2 days, and they really can start to eat a whole bunch of it, you know, in the early morning or what have you. So, and then down here, the little thing down here, I just dropped it straight down the nori because I have the gravel right there, so it just falls straight onto the crushed coral and doesn't blow off anywhere into the water, into the filters. So it works like that, just dumping it straight down into there for him for now. But anyway, guys, alright, let's see. All the corals here, let's check them out. We got the mushrooms over here. Look at that. That's right, we got the bounce disco soma right here. Got some crazy bounce bubbles on them. Keep an eye on that guy. They're gonna get more of them on them. They're gonna disappear. I'm gonna try to get more of these guys in brighter light. See if we get more of the bounce going on. But definitely full of all cloudy. So, but the coral's definitely bouncing back. Or elegance is definitely back, and fed him. Candy cane. Everybody's coming back. Gladstone Musa right there, gotta love it. And my Goni Astria brains, green splatter, normal green, and this is the Nitrophobia. And alright, so the clams are upset. They want more light. They don't like all this detritus either, so definitely cloudy water. So definitely gonna try to get them some more light. There's a smaller one down over there. So looking forward to increasing the lighting on this one. But let's check out. Oh yeah, I got the inkbird over here. Definitely like threw off the alarm, but the temperature was fine, so it was like an error. So the last time that happened, I replaced the sensor, but it's just the same one as doing it. So now I'm just gonna replace the whole inkbird, you know, the electrical right here piece, the actual mechanism right here, the thermometer itself. I think it's going bad. I'm gonna switch that one out, see if that takes care of that situation, because it woke me up like at about 3 o'clock in the morning, so that wasn't cool. Because I have it just on the manual alarm. Of course, you know, these are just the manual alarms, and ideally it would be good to get the Wi-Fi, you know, alarm update to my phone with these. So look forward to like an update on these inkboards that would have that, you know, for the heater and controller function. Yeah, I know they have them for just the heating only ones, but you know, I could use these to control the heating and the fans, of course, for the cooling. So let's check out the coral quarantine system. What do we got over here? It's looking good. However, it's a little bit of just, you know, like bacteria growth on the glass recently, and I'm starting to get a little bit of these streamers coming off of the return. My return right here, water line coming in. So I hope it's not the crazy dinoflagellate toxic nightmare coming back to haunt me. But it was streaming off over right here, and I have a few pieces of it here and there, but I'm fingers crossed that it's not gonna come back, because it's gonna be absolutely crazy. But you know what happened too was this Parides right here, Christmas tree worm rock, it was sloughed off a whole bunch recently, like yesterday, the day before, so maybe it was just that, and it kind of shedded a little bit, so that kind of clouded things up a little bit and upset some of the corals. But now they're definitely looking good, coming back. Here's a quick shot of them, guys, and guess I better wrap it up. Already going on too long here. But here's the clamps are doing pretty good in here, and that's a yellow Bennett, Walt Disney, and the close-up of the home wrecker. There it is, looking fuzzy and good. Good pulp extension, good color. Rainbow splices still alive, fingers crossed. And the rest of these guys, quick shot of them, but they're looking pretty good. And so alright, let's get a quick shot of this side over here. Bird's nest still has some some algae growing on a few of his branches that died in there, so I blew them off as well, but everyone else over here seems to be doing pretty good. Alright guys, so check back for the next episode though. I gotta get out of here and look to see what happens if this Dino flagellates wipe out my system, or if the things are gonna recover nicely. So happy reefing, bye.